The campaign against the Shadowlands went down as a triumph for all, yet beneath it lay a conspiracy known only to me. My sister's husband returned a hero, mine came back in a casket. Everyone wept for the poor widow, the girl who'd lost her love. But I knew the truth. The man holding my sister's hand wasn't her husband Cian, it was my husband Killian. Identical twins, their power so matched, no one could tell them apart, and he'd stolen his brother's life like it was a prize. Leora, I'm doing this for the kingdom, he'd whispered to me in secret, his hand feigning warmth in mine. If the Dragon Lords learn their crown prince is dead, civil war will tear us apart. Seraphina is too gentle to grieve. Let me protect her until things settle. Once the succession is secure, I'll come back to you. I promise. I believed him until he had me sentenced to death for colluding with the enemy, my flesh torn by 1,000 arcane blades. As my life faded, I watched him hold Seraphina, his touch intimate, possessive, all a lie, a cold calculation to steal the throne. Then I opened my eyes, and I was back to the day the Dragon Lords celebrated their victory, back to the moment the news of my husband's death wrapped around me like a shroud. Killian, wearing Tian's face, held Seraphina's hand as she wept, her cheeks flawless, not a tear marring her perfect makeup. The Lord stared at me with pity, the Queen with hatred, and this time, I didn't hesitate. This time, I would remarry. Killian thought stealing his brother's identity would make him king. He had no idea he'd just cast aside the only person who could have made that dream a reality. Leora, Killian, he fell in battle. The phantom pain of 1,000 cuts made my body tremble as the Dragon King's voice pulled me into the present. There he sat, the king, long dead in my past life, on his throne, grief etched into his face as he stared at the ornate coffin before us. A wild, fierce joy surged through me. I was alive. I was given a second chance. Before I could speak, Seraphina's soft, condescending voice cut through the air. Little sister, I know you're hurting. It's okay to cry. Let it all out. She looked down at me, compassion oozing from her expression, but her eyes were dry, her composure unshaken. I lifted my head, my gaze skipping past her to the man at her side. Her husband, they thought, but the man in Cian's skin was Killian, my Killian, the one who should have been holding me, not her. He felt my stare and turned, his eyes widening in a performance of surprise so expert it made my stomach churn. In my last life, it took months of doubt and secret searching to confirm the truth. This time, I saw it instantly, the flicker of guilt in his eyes, the way he held Seraphina too tightly, like he was afraid to let go of his stolen identity. A wrenching sob echoed through the hall. My son! Oh, my beautiful boy! The Queen threw herself against the coffin, tears spilling down her cheeks, but her grief quickly turned to rage. Her eyes locked on me, and she snarled, pointing a trembling finger. You! It was you! Your cursed luck killed my son! We'd never gotten along. She'd always thought me too headstrong, too unrefined for her perfect son. Once Killian had sworn to me, his voice earnest, if my mother ever gives you trouble, I will always side with you. Now, he stood silent at Seraphina's side, his hand still laced with hers, even as the Queen raised her hand to strike me. The slap stung, sharp and humiliating, but before she could hit me again, the king snapped out of his sorrow. Enough! He roared, ordering his guards to pull her back. The throne room dissolved into chaos, but Killian didn't move, not to defend me, not to calm his mother. Instead, he reached into his tunic and pulled out a shimmering blue tied jewel, pressing it into Seraphina's hand like it was a holy relic. For you, my love, he murmured, his voice soft only for her. I found this just for you. A hollow laugh escaped my lips. Phoenixes are creatures of fire, but I'd always loved the sea. I'd begged Killian to bring me a tied jewel from the war. He'd promised, but it never came. Now I knew why. He'd found one, but he'd given it to Seraphina, a woman who feared the ocean, who hated everything to do with water. The man who'd sworn to protect me watched impassively as his mother attacked me, then gave my greatest wish to my sister. Seraphina sensed my gaze and shifted defensively, as if shielding Killian from me. Leora, why are you staring at my husband? She chided, her voice sharp. Father is speaking to you. The king's voice was weary, heavy with sorrow. Leora, by law, when a warrior falls, his widow must observe a century of mourning. I will not force you, but I must ask, what are your intentions? I shook my head, my voice clear and steady, cutting through the murmurs. I